Okay, I went around back and took out the Gibbs screw, and I got a screwdriver blade on the end of it and gave it a little push, and that allowed me to be able to just slide this out. Everything has lots of oil on it, and it's not old oil, it's new oil. That appears to have some flaking on it. Two sides. A little bit of work on this edge. Okay. Okay, now the taper slide can come off. You gotta lift it up to clear this gear here, and that's the power cross slide. So as you can see, that's kind of double V-ways. Get the top of this clean or dry, semi-dry, and work on the bottom of this. Now, through all the times I've taken this machine apart and back together, I forgot one component and set it aside where I wouldn't lose it, and now I can't find it. And that is a piece. We'll take a look at that. So the first time I did clean those holes, okay, it was these holes. What was those holes? But anyway, there's a half moon piece that sits in here, and then this screw will go in there and press that and lock up that V-way, lock up that slide. So I've taken my toolboxes apart. I cannot find that half moon piece that sits in there. Here's oil coming up from the saddle, from the apron rather. Now, okay, this one has a blockage in it for one reason or another. I think it's just kind of a metering thing, I guess. I may be removing that. Okay. So next we will be taking off the carriage. So there's 4 cap head screws, 2 here, 2 here. There's the carriage travel lock. Then there's 3, 4 flathead screwdriver screws here and here. These outside ones hold this apron down to the saddle. These 2 hold the piece that keeps this locked down to the bedways. So I'm going to try this time to leave these 2 attached and try to bring those up with it, because I have a hell of a time getting this one to stay in place and then getting these screws lined up. So I think I just accidentally discovered the way to do that, and that is to assemble that before you lower this down, if that's even possible. We'll see. Let me put these in a safe spot. Those are taper slide Gibbs screws. Okay, let me gather a few tools together and we'll remove this carriage. Okay, I went ahead and removed 4 cap head screws from back under here, and that was holding the carriage down. And I have these 2 brass spacers that rode there, and that was to try to get some purchase on this to lock that. I haven't really been able to lock this successfully. This is the carriage travel lock. So we will put those with the screw. And I'm not sure what this is called, but oh, and this here is holds the slide for my digital measuring device. So it's not really a DRO. Digital scale. I unfortunately got the wire tangled up with the chuck, and yeah. Okay, I went ahead and lost my screwdriver. Loosened up 4 of these. Now I'm hoping to leave these 2 in place. I'm going to need my screwdriver. There it is. At the very least, I have to loosen these because they are gripping the bedways. And hopefully, I'm going to be able to slide the carriage back and up, freeing those. And be able to do the opposite of that, the reverse of that, on the assembly, because it is really hard to get those screws lined up. Now this one isn't such a problem because it lays down in there and it won't fall. This one here falls down into the apron, and you're not going to get it out without, well, I dropped it in there once. I was able to get it out with a magnet. But if it takes the right fall, you have to take the back of the apron off to remove that. So let me back you up and give me a little bit of room. And see if I'm going to be able to. No, that's not going to happen, I can tell you that. So it's off with these 4. And that thing will drop as soon as this screw is cleared. This one will drop. Listen for it. Here we go. Okay, let me get my magnet. Be careful where you place this magnet because it is not coming off easily if it gets full purchase. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put these back here behind. No, I'm not either. I'm going to put them down here with the other ones. That makes sense. Okay, so now the apron comes off. Not the apron, the carriage. I need to replace that oiler. I did a bozo and screwed that up. Okay. Not getting any oil over here. Alright, we can address that. Right now I don't even want to think about it. It didn't make any sense because I was definitely getting oil. You can see I'm getting oil on the ways. Oh, I see. It's going down here, so it is able to pump over to here. So I don't feel like picking this up this very moment. Well, I guess I have to. I don't have to, but okay. And screw this in there and bring that out. So that basically works like that. Now this one will go all the way down. Matter of fact, when I first took this machine apart, that part was missing. The second time I took the machine apart, I had the apron off, took the back of it, and I found this down inside the apron. So, once again, just like that. Okay, let me bring you up here and show you the oil. Here, here, it should be here. Here it comes here finally. Okay. Okay, I guess we're going to call that part one. of cross-side apron clutch repair. I got 2 new subs, and I can't pronounce these names, I'm sorry. It's French maybe. I'm going to show them to you, written down. Excuse my handwriting, printing. But you guys, you're wonderful, fantastic. I no doubt John sent you, or David sent you along, and I appreciate you checking it out. Tell a buddy, bring a friend, and all that good stuff. So I think it went pretty well. I kind of thought I was going to be able to leave those cleats that hold the front of the carriage down to the ways in place for reinstallation, but it was a nice thought, but it isn't going to happen. So we'll deal with that when we get to that. I'm glad to see the oil pumping up. I was a little worried because the right side was a little dry, and the first couple cranks I wasn't seeing any oil moving, but I replaced the felt on the inlet of the pump, and the original felt, well, let's just call it a coin of felt, and what I replaced it with was what all I had was some 1-inch wide felt for fashioning my way wipers, and it's pretty dense, so you have to get pretty saturated before it's going to start letting oil really travel freely. So I may go in there and maybe cut half the thickness off that felt, and well, let's just leave it at that. Guys, I appreciate you coming along. Like and subscribe, tell a buddy, bring a friend, and if you don't hear from me between now and Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I will be doing part 2 here, probably within a day or two, so come back and check that out. Thank you, guys and gals. Okay. Next, we'll be pulling this entire apron off. I'm going to remove 5 cap head screws down here, pull that plate in, 3 cap head screws here, grab this thing with the crane, and pull all that off with the pipes attached. But not before I release 2 cap head screws here and this whole assembly, which is my nemesis when it comes to reassembly. So it's the Pratt & Whitney. Here is the seldom seen. Let me move this. Come on off of there. The seldom seen war tag. And This machine conforms to specifications of the War Production Board. And from what I understand from other folks, that merely meant that they weren't doing any extraordinary things to make the finish, very special. Probably they weren't using body filler to smooth things out. But it's a heck of a machine, man. I love it. Oiling instructions. Keep oil reservoirs to the gauge lines. Fill oil cups each day. Use Texas Nabob or its equivalent. Viscosity of 200 seconds. Saturation at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Grease motor twice yearly. This has to do with the feed direction lever. They don't want you operating this while the machine is running above 322 RPMs. Do not engage or reverse clutch lever with the spindle running above 322 RPM. Above this speed, engage the clutch lever before starting the spindle. And there's my screw dial, lead screw dial, half nut dial, half nut lever, cross feed clutch. This knob, another knob would go here, and that's the lateral feed clutch. And that is the subject of part 2. Okay, guys, once again, thanks very much.